Hey, it's Anthony at Land Title. I just wanted to bring you the Boulder County market update for September of 2021. Just getting out the most up-to-date data for you as soon as we can. One of the big things that we wanted to talk a little bit about here is just how impressive this fall market is going to be and how impressive it's been so far. We are in the lowest inventory situation in a fall we've seen in a very long time, or maybe ever. And the pendings and under contracts just won't give up, right? The buyer demand is very high. So in this situation, we're seeing some really incredible numbers in the appreciation range, 13%, it looks like, year over year. And it just is showing how much demand there is in this marketplace here in Boulder County. So one of the biggest things I think we want to take away is, where is the active inventory really even at? And right now, Boulder is almost half of the market. We've said earlier that it was half of the market, but it's started to itch down month over month over month. Long months crept up just a little bit month over month. You're starting to see a lot of the other submarkets rise in inventory just a little bit, but the city of Boulder is actually still reducing in inventory every month. So we're starting to see that seasonal shift take place out in some of those markets, and Boulder is still just continues to fall because people just keep buying. One of the other things that we wanted to talk with you a little bit about is kind of where are we headed. So when you look at the month supply of inventory, here's a graph that shows you essentially each month and where we've kind of lie. So if you look at the history, the September time period is usually starting to decline in month supply of inventory, because even though we have less listings coming on the market, buyer demand is kind of chipping away at whatever's left. So we see it every year, and so this year is going to be no different. It's going to definitely slow. We're going to not see the more extreme swings like we see in the seasonal shifts. And what that means is we're going to have a really strong fall market for sellers. And we don't normally see a strong fall market for sellers, right? We see kind of a softer market in the fall, but not in 2021. This year is going to be a very good market for sellers. We've been seeing it in October already. So the big thing that I would say on the other side of the coin is those buyers, right? So what do the buyers look like? Well, the buyers are starting to soften as well. So even though there's not as much coming on the market, buyers are kind of slowly settling, but at the same time, they're still very, very active in a lot of those markets. If you look at Lafayette and Superior, they have the lowest days on market for Boulder County, 23, 24 days for active to sold. I mean, things are still turning over at record pace. Really, everything outside of Louisville and Boulder last month were turning over at some of these incredible numbers of 30 days or so. So you're starting to see some of that creep up, but most of that creep up is in some of the outerlying areas. Louisville is like that big shift. Boulder had that shift as well a little bit. The month over month change in area looks pretty extreme, but 29 days is still ultra fast, right? So things are moving about as fast as they can come on the market in most of the underlying markets, Longmont included, even with that boost in inventory it saw. So let's go over here to the by price point slide. So one of the bigger things by price point that I would say is worth talking about, some of the big shifts. The luxury market has been booming for about an entire year, right? We saw a little bit of a slowdown last month in most of the luxury, outside of the 3+ million, which has just been gangbusters pretty much since COVID started. There's a lot of money coming into this area, and you're seeing it in that high-end real estate. The thing that's taking place in the lower end of the market are those sales are still stifled compared to last year because there's just no inventory available for people to buy. That middle of the market has been really strong. In Boulder County, stock 600,000 to 1.5 million or even 2 million in many cases. Lots more sales, lots more inventory that it keeps coming on the market, but it's turning over so fast that we are seeing reductions in those inventory levels still. The places that you're actually seeing more inventory come on the market, that $5 to $5.99 price range, that's a good sign for most of those median home buyers out there. The other thing that I wanted to touch base on a little bit is just kind of where the month supply of inventory and days on market are falling by price point. You're starting to see the days on market soften. They're taking a little bit longer to sell houses out there on the market. You're seeing that month over month in the shift. So with that month over month change, and those softening days on market across pretty much all price points. Expect to see that continue and expect to see that soften as the year goes along. It always does towards the December timeframe. We're still seeing a reduction in month supply of inventory, right? So the inventory is shrinking, buyer demand is not quite as strong, but it's been so strong for so long that that inventory level is still shrinking comparatively. So expect to see that the rest of the year. We're in the fall market where it does feel a little softer. You're not getting tons and tons of bidding wars, but it's still a competitive market out there. And we can really show that in one of the slides here coming up. We'll just skip over to this one because I think it's probably the most important slide we're going to talk about that's left. And then I can backtrack a little bit from here. But the percentage sold price to list price here, you can see here just how much people are paying for homes, right? We're still at 100.5% list sale price. These are numbers we usually see in a spring market. And here they are still plugging along way over asking because of that shortage in inventory. Now, the big thing to keep in mind here, and this is why I keep saying this is a good opportunity this fall for sellers that maybe decided not to sell in the spring. Homes are definitely selling. They're selling at or over asking price. And the chances of this falling off really soon don't really appear to be the norm, right? This is more of a plateau this fall than what we see, in years past, where you see this kind of hump. Now, last year we did see that plateau, but a lot of that was due to COVID and due to the shutdown and due to all this other stuff. This year, it's purely because of the inventory shortage. You look in the attached market has been very, very similar to the detached market this year. So not a whole lot of change there, but still definitely worth having that conversation with. Talk with your clients about this opportunity that lies here in the fall, because it's something that I don't know if I would miss if I was selling a house. One of the other things that I think are worth talking about would just be the strength of the overall market. And in Boulder County, we are year to date up about 3% still. We're really just a slave to the inventory coming up on the market, though. Right now, you can really see here where the shutdown was last year. We really overperformed those months, but we really struggled to get inventory active and listed on the market. So our biggest sales months were that June and July timeframe, where usually we don't have a summer market, a booming summer market. And we really started to see some of the slowdown start to take place there because of vacations and travel in 2021. Obviously, this year's been everything but normal, but expect to see stuff in line with kind of what we did last year, just a little bit slower through the rest of the fall. You can see down here, if you look by city, the year-to-date sales, Boulder had some inventory to give, and people really took advantage of that. 20% up in sales from a year ago. And if you look down to some place like Erie, where there was nothing to give to begin with, we're down 20% in sales from a year ago, purely because there just isn't inventory available for home buyers to buy. I'm Anthony with Land Title. Hopefully I can catch you on the next one. If you have any questions, please always reach out to me or check out the YouTube channel or any of the other YouTube information for other submarkets around the area. Hope to catch you next time. Thank you.